What if I told you that one spoon of something simple, something already in your kitchen, could do more for your erections, your blood flow, and your confidence in the bedroom than any little blue pill? And no, I'm not selling anything. I'm talking about a natural habit that's been quietly changing the lives of older men, men in their 60s, 70s, even their 80s, who thought their best days were behind them. Men who woke up every morning feeling less like themselves, until one small change lit a fire in their bodies they hadn't felt in years. Now, let me ask you this just man to man. Have you ever looked down early in the morning and thought, where did it all go? That morning firmness that once made you feel strong, capable, and alive? It's not just about performance. It's about identity. It's about connection. And it's about time someone told you the truth. I'm Dr. Edward. I practiced urology and men's health for over 35 years right here in Greenville, South Carolina. I've sat across from thousands of men, just like you, proud, strong men who were quietly struggling. Not because they didn't try, but because nobody ever showed them how to work with their body instead of against it. And today, I'm going to reveal a little known method, just one spoon before bed, that's helped thousands of older men naturally restore blood flow, firmness, and vitality without pills, pumps, or side effects. This isn't a gimmick. It's grounded in real science, real experience, and real results. It all starts with blood flow. Because when blood flows, everything works better. Your energy, your confidence, your erections, even your sleep. And when it doesn't, you feel it deep down, not just physically, but emotionally too. This one spoon before bed nourishes your blood, relaxes your vessels, and supports the very chemistry your manhood depends on. But don't worry, I'm not going to throw a bunch of facts at you all at once. We're going to take this step by step. You'll understand exactly how it works, why it works, and what to expect when you try it yourself. But first, do this for me. Subscribe and click the bell. It only gets more interesting from here. Every week, I share practical, proven methods designed to help older men regain their strength and live with purpose. And tell me in the comments below where you're watching from. I read every single one, and it means more than you know to hear your stories. Because this journey isn't just about erections. It's about reclaiming a part of yourself that you thought was gone. And trust me, it's still there. Now, stay with me, because what's happening to your body might not be what you think. And once you understand the real reason your performance has faded, you'll never look at aging the same way again. Let's take a moment to talk about something that's hard for most men to say out loud, even to themselves. The slow fading of your strength. The feeling that something just isn't working the way it used to. Not broken exactly, just distant. Like a part of you quietly slipped away while you were busy living your life. Most men chalk it up to age. Well, I'm not 25 anymore, they say, or it's probably just part of getting older. But let me tell you something, as someone who's been working with men for over 3 decades. You see, what we call aging is often just a sign of something else, something fixable. Imagine your body as a set of pipes. In your 20s and 30s, those pipes are wide open. Water, that's your blood, flows freely. Pressure builds exactly when and where it's supposed to. But over time, without you realizing it, tiny bits of plaque, stress, sugar, and even inflammation begin to cling to the inside of those pipes. Just a little at first, not enough to notice, but slowly, silently, they narrow, they harden. And one day you go to turn on the faucet, whether that's morning firmness or intimacy with your partner, and nothing comes out. You didn't do anything wrong. This isn't punishment. It's just what happens when blood flow is neglected. When circulation slows, so does everything else. Your erections, your sensitivity, even your energy and drive. I've seen men lose their spark not because of age, but because their blood has stopped flowing where it needs to go. It's like trying to drive with the parking brake on. You push the pedal, but nothing moves. And what's worse, most doctors either offer you a prescription or shrug and say, that's just how it is. But it's not. I had a patient, let's call him Frank, who came to me frustrated, almost embarrassed. He was 66, active, and still had desire. But he said, Doc, I feel like I've got the engine running, but the wheels won't turn. That's exactly how poor blood flow works. And let's not forget the emotional side of this. When your manhood doesn't respond, it doesn't just affect your body, it affects how you see yourself. Your confidence takes a hit. You start questioning things, pulling back from your partner, avoiding intimacy, laughing a little less. It's a quiet unraveling, and it starts in the blood. But here's the good news. Those pipes, they can be cleared. That engine, it can be re-oiled. The system isn't broken, it's just clogged. And once you understand that, the solutions become much simpler, more natural, and more empowering. So now you know your manhood hasn't failed you. Your circulation has. And that's something we can work with. But here's where it gets really interesting. Because what I'm about to share next isn't just about unclogging the pipes. It's about restoring the pressure inside them. The force that gives you the kind of firmness you thought was gone for good. This next step surprised even me when I first saw the results. And it all begins with a spoon. Just one spoon taken before bed that sets off a chain reaction deep inside your body. A reaction that reopens blood vessels, fuels nitric oxide, and reminds your manhood how to rise with strength. It's simple, it's safe, and it works better than most pills out there because it helps your body remember what it already knows how to do. Stay with me because in the next few moments, I'll share exactly what's in that spoon and the story of a patient who discovered its power the hard way and came back stronger than ever. Frank was 68 when he first sat across from me, jaw clenched, eyes darting to the floor. You could tell he was the kind of man who handled his business. Retired Army, built his own home with his hands. But now, something was bothering him that no amount of discipline could fix. I just don't feel like myself anymore, he finally said. It's like the engine turns over, but there's no spark. He wasn't talking about energy. He wasn't talking about libido. He was talking about something far more personal. That inner charge, that pulse in your manhood that tells you you're still alive, still potent, still capable. I ran his labs. Normal cholesterol, normal testosterone, blood pressure managed. But I knew better. I looked deeper, and what I saw was subtle, yet powerful. Poor microcirculation, a sluggish vascular system. And the worst part? Frank's body was still trying. His chemistry just wasn't responding. So I gave him a challenge. Frank, I said, I want you to try something every night for 10 days. Just one spoon before bed. That's it. He raised an eyebrow. What kind of spoon? Lemon, warm water, and baking soda. He blinked, confused. Baking soda? Yes. That little white powder in the back of your fridge. Because when taken correctly, it can do something almost no prescription pill can. Balance your blood's internal environment, neutralize acidity, and give your blood vessels the green light to open up freely, naturally, and powerfully. You see, here's the truth that most men never hear. As we age, our bodies become more acidic. Even if you eat well, even if you exercise, this silent acidity stiffens your arteries, narrows your capillaries, and makes it nearly impossible for blood to flood the areas it used to. That includes the penis. And guess what happens when that blood doesn't move? You feel numb, disconnected, weak. But when you gently rebalance your internal pH, something baking soda is remarkably good at, you create an alkaline environment where oxygen flows, nitric oxide activates, and blood pressure stabilizes just enough to send power back to where it matters most. Frank followed the protocol exactly. Half a teaspoon of baking soda, the juice of half a lemon, stirred into warm water, sipped slowly about an hour before bed. He texted me on day 5. "Doc, something's happening." I called him. "What do you feel?" I woke up hard, like really hard. First time in years. And it wasn't just a firmness. He felt rested, clear-headed, like his body had finally remembered what it was made for. That's the power of internal chemistry. You don't have to force an erection with pressure or pills. You just have to create the right conditions, and your body will do the rest. I've recommended this exact method to hundreds of men since Frank. Men who thought they were too far gone. Men who whispered their doubts as they walked in and walked out lighter, stronger, and full of hope. Now I'll be honest, this isn't magic. It's science. Gentle, natural, and patient. And while the spoon itself is simple, the effect can be profound. You're clearing the internal path for blood to move, nerves to awaken, and confidence to return. But that was only the beginning, because 10 days after Frank started, he noticed something else. A warmth in the lower belly, a lightness in his chest, a quiet confidence that he hadn't felt in a decade. That's when I knew we were onto something bigger. Because while blood flow is the foundation, there's another element most men overlook until it's too late. It's not just about how the blood moves. It's about what triggers it to move in the first place. And the body's most powerful trigger? Nitric oxide. This natural molecule tells your blood vessels when to dilate, how fast to respond, and how firmly to stay open. It's a spark behind every spontaneous erection you've ever had. But after 60, nitric oxide production slows to a crawl. That's why in the next part, I'll show you how another powerful method, just as simple, just as natural, can reignite your body's ability to make nitric oxide on its own. And this one, it involves a surprising oil that most men overlook, but when applied the right way, helps restore sensitivity, awaken nerves, and rebuild the connection you thought you'd lost. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. There was a man named Walter, 72 years old, retired electrician, still wore his work boots out of habit. When he came into my office, he carried himself with quiet pride, but I could see the discomfort in his posture. He didn't sit all the way down. He kind of hovered on the edge of the chair. After a pause, he said what so many men have told me over the years. "Doc, it just feels dull. Not painful. Not numb. Just like something turned off and never came back on." I nodded. I'd heard it before. See, Walter wasn't lacking testosterone. He wasn't battling diabetes or high blood pressure. What he was battling, without even knowing it, was disconnection. A quiet shutdown of the nerves, vessels, and tissues in his lower body. Something that can sneak up on any man over time. About a trick, I told him, but it's old-fashioned. No beads. Just oil. He laughed. "What kind of oil?" "Castor oil," I said. He blinked. "Isn't that something my grandmother used to keep in a bathroom?" Exactly. You see, most men don't realize this, but castor oil has been used for generations as a natural healing agent. Not just for constipation, like you've probably heard, but for deeper things, internal things. Things like scar tissue, inflammation, and yes, even erectile health. Because castor oil has one very rare ability. It penetrates. Not just skin deep. It sinks into tissues, through fascia, into blood vessels, and it carries with it anti-inflammatory compounds, circulation boosters, and a warming, awakening effect. It's what I call massage medicine. And for older men, especially those over 60, it can be a game changer. Walter followed my instructions exactly. 3 nights a week, just before bed, he warmed a tablespoon of castor oil and gently massaged it into his lower abdomen, starting just below the navel and working down toward the base of his penis and inner thighs. Gentle, slow circles. No pressure, just care. He'd then place a warm compress over the area, a hot towel, or a heating pad wrapped in cloth, and lie still for 20 minutes. He did this in silence. No phone, no TV, just him and his body, reconnecting. After 2 weeks, he called me. "I don't know how to describe this," he said. "It's like there's warmth down there, like something's waking up." That's exactly what we wanted, because the area around the groin, especially in older men, becomes stagnant. Poor blood flow. Dense fascia. Hardened tissue. It's like trying to breathe through a plastic bag. But when you soften that tissue, when you bring heat, oil, and gentle motion, it begins to relax. Blood flows in. Nerves start firing again. Sensation begins to return. And that's when erections come back. Not forced, but invited. Walter's experience isn't rare. I've seen this happen with dozens of men who had tried everything else. Men who were told they'd need injections or surgery, or to just accept that their best days were behind them. And yet, with nothing more than an oil their grandmothers once used, they rediscovered something deeply important. Not just performance, not just blood flow, but ownership of their body. That feeling, that sense of being alive, connected, and in control, that's what this method restores. Now here's what makes this even more powerful. When castor oil is combined with a gentle pH balancer, like the baking soda and lemon water we talked about earlier, it does more than just improve circulation. It clears out old congestion, breaks down internal scar tissue, restores lymphatic flow, and gives your pelvic region a second chance. It's like opening a window in a stuffy room. Suddenly, the air moves, the light shifts, and everything feels possible again. So, if you've been struggling with dullness, tightness, or that creeping sense of "I just don't feel like myself anymore," this is where to begin. Warm oil, gentle hands, a little patience, and belief that your body still remembers how to work beautifully when given the right support. In the final part of this video, I'll show you exactly how to apply both of these methods together: timing, positioning, even what to avoid. I'll also share the story of another patient who followed this routine for 30 days and shocked both himself and his wife with the results. But before that, take a deep breath and know this. You're not broken. You're not past your prime. You're not done. You're simply waking back up. And in just a moment, I'll show you how to keep that momentum going with the final steps that tie everything together. So let's bring it all together now: the how, the why, and what to do next. If you want to try the baking soda method, here's the best way to do it. Each night before bed, take half a teaspoon of baking soda, mix it with the juice of half a lemon, and stir it into a warm glass of water. Drink it slowly, about 30 to 60 minutes before lying down. This timing helps your body calm its acidity, restore internal balance, and set the stage for better blood flow through the night. Then 2 or 3 nights a week, apply warm castor oil. Massage a tablespoon gently into your lower belly, groin, and the inner thighs, especially around the base of your penis. Use circular motions, slow and relaxed. If you can, lie down afterward with a warm towel or a heating pad across the area. Let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes while you breathe, unwind, and let your body reconnect. This isn't about routines. It's about reclaiming a sense of presence, of control, of dignity. I remember Joseph, 66, soft-spoken, recently divorced. He'd been avoiding intimacy for years, not because he didn't want it, but because he didn't feel capable. He started this routine quietly, without telling anyone. By week 2, he said, "Doc, I feel like I'm back in the driver's seat." A month later, he'd gone on his first date in 3 years. And then there was Lionel, 73. Prostate issues, slow stream, constant urination. After just 3 weeks of combining the baking soda drink with castor oil packs, he reported not only better sleep, but improved ease in the bathroom and, unexpectedly, firmer, more reliable morning erections. It's subtle, he said, but I feel like I'm becoming myself again. Science backs this up. Studies show that baking soda, sodium bicarbonate, gently supports vascular function, reduces inflammation, and encourages nitric oxide retention. Castor oil, rich in ricinoleic acid, penetrates deeply to soften tissue, promotes circulation, and calm nerve tension. Used together, they form a natural synergy, like oil and water clearing out an old engine and making it purr again. But here's a warning. Most men skip the patience. They try it once or twice, don't see fireworks, and quit. That's the biggest mistake. This isn't a switch. It's a signal. You're retraining your body how to function naturally, gently, steadily. Give it time. Give it consistency. Second mistake, using too much. More is not better. Stick to the half teaspoon of baking soda. Use castor oil sparingly. Let the method do the work. To summarize, your best first step isn't in a bottle. It's in your mindset. You're not fixing something broken. You're reawakening something dormant. Blood flow, sensation, confidence, they're all still there waiting. So here's what I want you to do. If you want more natural methods like this, like the video, subscribe, and comment one below so I know you're interested. That one little gesture helps me know I'm reaching the right man. And if this message meant something to you, if it gave you a little hope, a little direction, or just reminded you that you're not alone, then that's enough for today. Because what really matters isn't perfection. It's progress. It's knowing that with the right care, the right steps, and a little patience, your best days might still be ahead of you. You've got more life in you, my friend. And I'll be here every step of the way to help you live it well.